Hello, good evening. So, today we will talk about dehumidification of gases. Uh, our main focus should be around dehumidification of gas by cooling. Our other focus would be on how we, when we increase the pressure, the dew point temperature also increases, and how we can use that increasing pressure to do the cooling and remove the moisture by ambient air. And we'll also look at how we can do the more like a refrigerant cooling and further drop the moisture and do the water removal. So, what are the applications for these dehumidification of gas? Why do we want to do the dehumidification? In a broad, or I would say the few examples that come to my mind right away are the biogas that we have to dehumidify before we send it to the VPSA, PSA, or even the membrane system. There is a limit for the VPSA that the moisture should be, at least there should be no free moisture. And the less moisture is better because then the media will be used for removal of carbon dioxide instead of removal of moisture. So it will have a longer run time. Then in case of PSA, the same thing. The less the moisture, higher would be the throughput through the PSA system. For membrane system, it's kind of a foul or fouling or scaling, having free moisture as well as there is a limit for the concentration of moisture, even though if it is in the inside the gas, like mixed inside the gas. So limit is like 5 ppm. If we go over 5 ppm, then it will be a you'll be reducing the life of the membrane, and so because of these factors, the it becomes very important to remove the moisture. One other application that I remember is food grade. Let's say you're using air for drying of the food. Now you don't want to contaminate that food with the moisture. So at that time, the dehumidification becomes very important, and to maintain the the hygienic conditions for drying. So those are the two applications that I can remember. Now let's just jump into what is the process. Like we'll take an example. In this example, we are taking air. We are taking air from ambient at 29 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are trying to do uh, you know the ambient air which is at 29 degrees C. Relative humidity is 100 degrees 100%, and it's 1 bar absolute. Keeping those three figures in mind, the temperature of air, the relative humidity, and the pressure, we can calculate what is the water vapor concentration and what is the dew point temperature by using a very nice calculator called Vaisala humidity calculator. It is free, available online on Google. I'll share the link in the description. Now, when we are doing the compression, like after compressor, I'm increasing two things here. One is the pressure to 1 bar gauge. The second one is the temperature, which is because of isentropic compression. And the result of increase in pressure, my dew point temperature has increased to 41.5 degrees C. So what do I do with that? Like, how can I use that for removal of moisture? Or what does this, or the better way to say it is, what does this tells me? This tells me that if I'm going to cool this air to anything below 41.5 degrees C, I'm going to get the moisture out. And the ambient temperature is 29 degrees C. So I can easily cool this air with ambient air using a air radiator. So what do I do that? Or what do I do with that? I cool the air to 40 degrees C, and guess what? At 40 degrees C and the pressure of 1 bar gauge, my relative humidity has shooted up to like 108%. Anything above 100% relative humidity means rain, or the water is coming out of gas. So so basically there is, in this condition, we are having free liquid, free water. So if I continue to pass this gas through a piping, there will be two-phase flow, a gas and a liquid. So rather than doing that, we'd give a moisture separator. So moisture separator, we remove the free liquid. Since the temperature is at 40 degrees C, the pressure is 1 bar gauge, and relative humidity is now 100%. Notice that my moisture has dropped. Moisture concentration has dropped to 3.8%. So we have dropped the moisture from 4% down to 3.8% just by increasing the pressure, because increasing pressure increases the dew point temperature. Now, like I said, like many of the applications, this may not be enough, and we won't be able to increase the pressure further because it's not required by the process, let's say. So, but we still want to reduce the moisture further. We want to reduce the moisture concentration further. So, what do we do for that? We can, let's say, by some means, let's just say by putting a chilled water system or a chilled glycol, we reduce the temperature further of this air to 3 degrees C. Now, notice that reducing the temperature to 3 degrees C at 1 bar gauge, keeping the moisture concentration the same because there is nothing, removal. The I would say this is not right. Relative humidity goes to 974%. Now, like I said, anything above 100% relative humidity means that moisture will be, there will be free liquid coming. So when I pass this gas through the vapor liquid separator, or I should just correct it, that if I'm reducing the temperature of the gas below dew point temperature of 40 degrees C, there will be water coming out, and that's why the relative humidity is it's showing in that calculator to be 974%. Now when I put this gas and liquid into a gas liquid separator, there is all that free liquid is separated out, and the outlet of this vapor liquid separator is now having a moisture content of 0.38% mole percent. So you can see that we have reduced the moisture from by 1/10. From 4% we are down to 0.38% by cooling, and we took advantage of the ambient air to first remove the moisture, and then we took the advantage of refrigerant or chill glycol to further remove the moisture. Now, if, for example, we the process required even further higher pressure, let's say up to 10 bar, then the dew point temperature would have again gone up, and we could have used again the ambient air to do the cooling and remove the moisture. So this is, you know, more of an overview of how we can make use of pressure, increase in pressure, increase in dew point temperature in our favor to do the moisture removal with the ambient air. And if we are not in a position to increase the pressure, then we can use a refrigerant or a chill glycol to do the cooling and remove the moisture. This would also explain, like, sometimes you would have heard that after the compressor there is a lot of free water, even though we are not injecting any water into the compressor. So why are we getting this free water? This video will help in, gives an answer to that question, why we get the free water. So I hope you like that. Thank you.